slept for the past 24 hours at least. I've definitely not slept. I've been so stressed out, and the root cause of that stress is money. I finally bought my second property recently, which is so exciting. It's also really scary, and I don't know how I am gonna handle all the costs associated with them, costs of repairs, mortgages. You know, with one house it was stressful already. You're locked in, you know, you have to make it work no matter what, otherwise you're gonna lose what you got. But with two properties, and then on top of that it was the holiday season, and various reasons why that I don't want to get into, but I ended up putting everything on my credit cards, multiple credit cards, and one bank, because my credit card dipped so low, one bank canceled my credit card, which is a bad sign. I am so energized. I am more energized than I've ever been, more debt than I've ever been in my life, but it's fine. This is how people do it. This is what the entrepreneurs do, and I'm just in the beginning. I'm just figuring it out. You know, it's Texas properties, Texas real estate. It's not like LA or New York City where like everything is through the roof expensive. It's like a fraction. I can handle this. Get my game plan on. I'm gonna handle it. I'm not gonna freak out. And sorry, no makeup and I look gross. I feel unhealthy. I just got off of COVID, or I'm pretty sure it was COVID, but I didn't get tested, but it was all the symptoms: fever, chills, lots of aches, muscle aches, weak, you know, a few other problems, infections, weird eyelid thing, which is why I haven't been wearing makeup. Something's growing on my eyelid, something's growing on my back, something's growing on my, I won't say, weird skin stuff. I think I have a feeling it has to do with stress. I'm gonna go to the gym, work out, take care of my body, and the next couple months are gonna be like crazy game time. I'm not gonna let whatever is happening in the world take me and my success down. This is not healthy. This is like Coke. This kind of motivation and passion is like being fired by Coke. You don't want that. You want to be fired by genuine excitement for living and stuff like that. So that's what I want to be fired by. But anyways, this is what I got for now. I'm writing a book, one book for myself, another book with someone else that you'll see. I'm helping out, I'm not the author of that one, but it's really exciting, and I hope to talk about those things more. Something that people don't get about leaving any kind of religious community or sheltered lifestyle, or even like, getting a divorce, leaving a marriage, or any kind of like codependent lifestyle, especially as an adult, it's really hard to like figure out money stuff, It's like being a child out in the world. I don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm figuring it out, but it is so scary. Gosh, I can't think of how anybody, unless your parents have been training you for this since you were a child, I don't understand how anyone can be prepared for this. It's scary, it's hard, unless you have a job where your boss is completely taking care of you, has a retirement account for you, dental, vision, medical insurance, all these things. It's hard to even find people to work for me because everyone's charging like insane amounts of money that I would never charge, but people are charging. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go to the gym, work out a little bit. so motivated. I've never been so motivated in my entire life. I'm up to my eyeballs in debt. And I'm gonna find a way to pay it off as soon as I fucking can, no matter what it takes. I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna sell as many houses as possible. I'm gonna drive Uber delivery. It'll be my first time actually. So I'm actually gonna start right now. Right now it's, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna start right now doing Uber delivery, and I won't stop until I fucking meet my goals. And you know, it's gonna be like an inch at a time. I don't care. I don't care. Someone says, oh, like, you should be, focusing more on your business. I mean, I am doing, focusing on my business. It's a slow month. Holiday season slow. January is the slowest month of the year. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep things afloat. I'm not going to lose the things I've spent years building just because of a low season. So that's how fired up I am. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna make this happen. I don't know. First time with Uber delivery. Here it goes. What a mess. I'm gonna throw this out. I'm actually really hungry this morning, which I wasn't yesterday because I was kind of depressed, but need to get the strength building, and so I'm gonna clean up a little bit today, wash the dishes, have some breakfast, and then I'm gonna do my hair. By the way, how awesome is my home? It's great. I mean, it's not really very furnished, but I somehow managed to make it messy already. Last night, Uber Eats, gosh, I don't know how people stay motivated to do that stuff. If you can stay motivated to do Uber Eats, you have a motivation to do so much in life. And I hear success stories all the time of people who do, like, this person did Uber Eats and then they went on to become this great thing. And like, I seriously think the reason why people who do Uber Eats become so successful in life later is that the money is so minuscule and it takes so long that the kind of person who's willing to sit through Uber Eats in order to make a buck is the kind of person that's gonna fucking have to kick ass in life, because there's no other way. And that's been my experience with Uber Eats last night. I made like $11 the whole night. Yay. It's easy money, so like I'll keep doing it just until I get to maybe a fraction of my goal. I mean, I have no other choice. I mean, I lost a credit card. They sent me an email saying because of my credit score being low, I'm losing my credit card. Bank of America sucks. It's Bank of America. Bank of America, I've been with them for 10 years, and like, this is how they treat me. I've been with them for 10 years. I paid all my bills. Once I get my debt cleared up, I'm gonna switch over to another bank. What was I saying? Yeah, let's have some breakfast, do my hair and makeup, get out of here today. I got an interview for a bartending job this afternoon, so I'm gonna, look good for that, and I'm gonna bullshit my way through and pretend like I know a whole lot about bartending, even though I have not actually been a bartender. I've worked as a server, and because they didn't have a bartender, so I was basically doing the bartender's job. So I was basically a bartender, even though it was unofficial, and it was really easy. It was really easy money, like the easiest money I've made in the restaurant industry. And so I'm gonna do that. This is the stuff that winners have done. It's not the stuff that winners do their whole life. This is the stuff that winners have done. This is the mindset that has me this. I own this. They worked their ass off so that they can not work their ass off. And they try to find ways to stay afloat while they're waiting for their machines that they're building to work. And I'm just waiting for my machines to work. All right, gotta clean up. All right, what have we got here? Ooh, lots to choose from. I think we're gonna get some eggs. $9:15, racing against the clock. Some of the dishes are in the dishwasher. I've washed everything that was in the sink. There's still more dishes lying around, stuff to clean up. 9:15, do you think we can get out of here by 10:15? This is my breakfast. It's corn tortillas with egg whites, turkey sausage, and garlic, spinach, and Parmesan. I'm watching a show called Flack. It's on Amazon Prime. That show was really dumb. You know, I think I'm not a fan of British humor. It's like very dark and very depressing, and like, you know, the UK to me is a failing society. It's like, you know, it's just like an overtaxed, overregulated, like beacon of like no money. Like, you know, there's some people that probably make it, but those people are like the queen maybe. There's a few people that have made it, you know, and those people can keep surviving, but the barrier to making any kind of serious luxury or whatever is so high that like most of the population is living in poverty. And that's, to me, the effect of socialist ideology. And you can see it in all their movies. They're just like really depressing. Everyone's cold and sad and depressed, and like, you know, part of it's the weather. People. Anyway, that's it. Let's do her hair and get out of here. Quick update, I'm out of the house and I'm gonna do a little bit of work for a client and for my book, and I just got a call from my endodontist. I have to go in. I had a recent like infection in my face. I have to go in and get that checked. So I have a limited amount of time before I go to the dentist, and then day is like pretty much shot. I should have woke up a lot earlier, but anyway, gonna work with what I have. So basically, I've got an hour to knock out a very, very quick book plan, get started on that, and, you know, get it done as soon as possible. So really excited about that, and we'll see how it goes. By the way, like, for everyone who's like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing, like, you know, you're telling us that you care about being rich, but you're going and doing, like, Uber Eats delivery or whatever, like, that's something that I think it took a while for me to accept, but the people that I've seen that have made a lot of money and are, like, very successful have tried everything, and sometimes, like, there's gonna be low seasons, and, you know, you're not always gonna be ballin'. Like, I'm just at the start of, like, things that I'm building, and it's scary to think that I might lose everything because I have a low month of a lot of expenses and costs, and you know, like, the amount that I'm bringing in is not enough to, like, sustain those costs and the market. So, like, it's scary to think that I might lose everything because I'm in a low season, you know, and this isn't, like, my whole life. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be doing Uber Eats or, like, you know,
trying to do bartending and waitressing and all these quick money sort of things my whole life, but it means that I'm not going to let, the things that I built until now, I'm not going to let that be lost just because it's a low season. So and just because I failed to have a savings bank for this time. So this is me stepping up and not letting myself lose what I've built until now. It's not, it doesn't mean that this is my life. I'm not being complacent, and people get really disenchanted when I tell my friends okay, I'm going to go get a job. It's they get scared oh no, this means that you fail. This means that you're accepting failure. It doesn't mean that I'm accepting failure. It actually means that I'm not accepting failure. It means that I'm going to do this until I've cleared my debt, because I don't want to lose any more credit cards. I don't want my credit score to go down, because I need my credit score in order to get more loans in the future if I want to make more money. This is a winning strategy, even though it's collecting pennies, but there's other ways to do it. I can collect more loans from people, go into more debt, but if I have the time, then why wouldn't I do what I can right now, to cover as much as possible and not go into debt with more people? That's just the way I see it. I'm not selling you my get rich quick lifestyle. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it, because I wish people were more transparent with me. I wish people told me what they were doing, that when I saw people that were really successful in my eyes, I wish they were more transparent with me. And my uncle, I'm really lucky to have my uncle. He's very transparent with me, and even him at his level, he owns a whole bunch of multifamily properties. At his level, if he has to drive Uber to get a bunch of quick cash, he will, because no matter how wealthy you are, you're still gonna be making big investments. You're still gonna be waiting on cash. You're gonna be waiting on loans. You're gonna be waiting on returns from things. It's all stuff that you planned before. So there's nothing quick cash. Even when you're rich, when you're rich, you're making money from things that you planned way earlier. There's no way to just create money out of thin air. It's all money that had been planned from a lot earlier, or maybe not a lot earlier, but earlier. So even the wealthiest people are not gonna, without planning, they're not gonna just have money. Maybe they're borrowing money on their credit card that they're gonna pay off with other strategic planning. Maybe but Uber, that is something that is quick money. Right now, if you don't want to borrow money from someone, that's what, and that's why I have a lot of respect for people that do that. Because if you're driving Uber, it's if you're doing deliveries, that's pennies. You're collecting pennies. That means that you'd rather collect pennies than and do that hustle than go borrow money from people. And if you're borrowing money from people, you're their bitch, and and it's their money, and you're being, if you expect people to give it to you and not expect it back, then you're a bitch. I'm sorry. Personally, I don't lend money to people, because when you lend money to people, they hate you and they expect you to not ever expect it back. Even though you're doing them a favor, they start to hate you, because that's just the nature of borrowing money. Is you hate the people that you borrow money from. You hate the bank. You're oh, my mortgage. It's well, they were nice enough to give you the money in the first place, so you shouldn't hate them, but you do, because you're a dumbass bitch. So anyway, that's my speech about Uber Eats. deliveries. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work.
We gazed upon it like a worshiper beholden to its god, awestruck.
I went to this restaurant. They said it was not that restaurant that they were hiring at, the chain. It was like their sister restaurant, which I'm so glad, because I went there and there was no business, and they're like, oh, we're not hiring any bartenders, and I was like, great, because like I don't see any customers here, and all the restaurants nearby are getting business except this one, so I don't want to work in a place, I'm not going to make money at a place where there's no business. So the manager was actually kind enough to give me tips on like how to get that job and how to talk to the manager at this place in order to charm them, get hired, make money, you know, not make bank, but just make enough money in order to like clear out my debt, save everything during this, you know, low season as I'm building my other bigger machines. So let's see how that works. So I just got hired. Whoa! I know what you're thinking. What kind of success story is this? What kind of success story is working at a restaurant? Oh no, the shame, the sadness. But listen, when you have 2 mortgages to pay off and you are, you know, in a low season and your goal isn't to make money from this, it's just not to go under. You know, like you're gonna do, you know, this is the beginning, property values go up, rent increases, you make money along the way, but you just, in the beginning, you do what you gotta do to, whatever you do to make things okay. And I think the biggest mistake people make is thinking that like things are forever. No matter what your job is, if you aren't building big long-term money machines, like in real estate or business or whatever, you know, other things there are, you're poor. Just because you're getting a certain amount of money right now, that's not your future. That's just right now. That's what you're getting paid right now to do whatever, to survive right now. Your career is what you're building for your future, what you're planning for your future. That's your career. So to me, I see myself as a success because I see my future down the line. I see the things that I've been planning for myself down the line. And no, they're not working as a restaurant bartender forever. They're, you know, restaurant bartender is a job. Real estate is my career. That's where I see myself making the most money. Although I'm sure there's other things. The thing that I would encourage people, especially people who leave the frum community, like people like myself who leave a community where like everyone's doing well off and nobody has to work, at least not in my community, no one works. Like if I tell my parents I work at a restaurant, they're gonna cry. They're gonna be like, oh no, what happened to our daughter? Like, nothing happened to me. I'm just keeping myself happy and surviving while I build my money machine. Nothing wrong with that, and I don't like it when people like make you feel sad or bad about it. It's like, this is how people start off, you know, not, you make money from the plans you made from like a long time ago. You don't just make money like that unless you're like doing Uber Eats and the money just like hits your account right away, unless you're selling lemonade in the street and you like, here's lemonade, give me $1. Like, unless you're out there and like physically just like getting the money right away. You know, building wealth is all about planning. It's all about a strategy. It's not about making money on the spot. So if you are making money on the spot, it's not going to be forever. It's not a plan. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm happy to finally get something right now that is like gonna get me through the next few months or a year. I hope I don't stay there for like a whole year.
It's the end of the day. I just got out of the gym. It wasn't so long because the gym was almost closed. feeling a little sad, I guess. I don't know. So to kind of make my Friday night a little more exciting, other than memorizing this menu for the bar tomorrow, I'm gonna stop at Walmart, grab a canvas, and I have a bunch of paints at home, and I'm gonna paint.
I was supposed to be memorizing this menu, and I instead just slacked off on the phone the whole night, Friday night, and so I didn't memorize the menu. But tomorrow is my first day of training. I'm gonna go knock it out, and the money that I make is gonna go to paying off debt and investing back in my properties, which there's a bunch of repairs that need to be done, and vendors that I need to pay off, and hopefully I'll be able to raise the price because that'll be forced equity in my home. And yeah, I spend so much money on this shit, it's not even funny. 4 a.m. Couldn't sleep, so I'm taking a hot Epsom salt bath. Hopefully it'll feel a little better. Just got some healing. It's the middle of night and I can't sleep. Just the wind is blowing really heavy outside, and I think I have some kind of PTSD associated with like wind blowing heavy outside, or something happening, like, or just in general the feeling of I'm about to lose everything, and that feeling, it doesn't go away. It's like it's there with no matter what I do, like the feeling that something is going to happen to my properties, that it's going to get damaged, that I'm going to have to, lose, have to pay a whole bunch of money in repair costs and lose rental income. The feeling that I'm gonna lose a place where I live, lose my home, lose my ability to survive, to love, to do anything. And that fear is like completely crippling, and it's a totally rational fear. It's, so I feel like, people I'm with will be like, well, just get over that fear. It's not based on anything real. Come out and drink with us. Come out and do this thing or that thing that is gonna make your fear become more of a reality, And I try to listen. I try to go out and do that thing or whatever, the thing that goes against my fear. But like, then what ends up happening is I end up in much worse shape because I haven't been doing the things I need to do to like prevent my fear from happening. So like, I will ignore the problem that is happening with the property, or not do the things to like not take the preventative measures, and then I'll end up in a worse position, and my fear becomes a reality. And it's like, I don't know how other people are surviving, because I find it so hard to survive already, and listening to other people, it doesn't help at all. Like, the only person who is able to make my fear go away is myself. Hopefully I can sleep so I can do that when I wake up. Today was a long day. I had my first day ever at this restaurant, which honestly is pretty cool. Like, I've had a bunch of restaurant jobs in the past, and this is, pretty easy money. It's like a really high-end sort of place. Bartending is not, people make a big deal about it being like the worst job ever. Only thing I'd say is there was a lot of running around. It's a lot of hours, so I really hope I don't get like really exhausted, but I hope it will make the hours that I'm not spending there, which is, you know, it's not crazy hours. It's just that I just was sick, so I was just sick, so everything just makes me so tired so quickly. So I'm hoping that I won't get too tired and, you know, maybe I'll heal before all this stuff happens. But in the meantime, it's good. Like, the hours aren't that long compared to like any restaurant job, and you know, it's really good money from what people there are saying. The other workers, they're really happy with their amount that they're making, and you know, it's Texas, so there's a really high demand for labor, and than there is in other, you know, coastal areas. So and there's a lot of money to be made. You gotta do what you gotta do, make the supplemental income while you're building the other stuff, and you know, hopefully I come up with some more creative ideas. So I have multiple machines that are, you know, helping me coast through and make my money dreams come true in a short amount of time. That's the goal. I'm just listening to audiobooks written by people who have, you know, allegedly made it, listening to talks with people who have high net worth, and just listening a lot to the kind of people who have made it. And the people who made it, they did not have like nice cushy jobs like in the beginning. People who have made it did, I mean, maybe they had some cushy jobs, but like the people who really made it did whatever they could in the beginning to make things work, and they failed a whole bunch in the beginning. And so, you know, I hope that I will be one of those people that you look up to, and I'm starting to crack certain codes, but it's gonna take a while before I'm like coasting, you know? Last night I didn't sleep. There was a lot of wind outside, and I was having nightmares the entire night. I was having nightmares about things happening, about losing everything, about losing control of my mind. It's like the wind was blowing and I kept waking up and I had pain in my back. And, you know, I'm actually about to, because, you know, today there was another shift, so I'm actually gonna sit in an Epsom salt bath right now and try to like get rid of that pain a little bit, ease things a little bit, and hopefully tonight I'll sleep a lot better, I hope. Last night was not a good night, so I'm hoping tonight I will get good sleep and be relaxed. And it's important, you know, I don't want to get burnt out, which I do to myself sometimes. Right. Adios. So I actually did sit in the bathtub for like 20 minutes, and I was sitting in the bathtub. It was very relaxing, but then I got a message from my rental property. Apparently the people at the rental property are making noise, and the neighbors, and they have kids, and the kids are going around causing trouble with the neighbors and like knocking on the doors and then running away, like things like that. And the neighbors have been complaining, and they're complaining to the police, which means it's pretty serious. And I'm trying to reach them. They're not answering me. It's 11 o'clock at night, so I'm actually driving on the way to the property to find out what the heck is going on. Because like, if this keeps going, I will have to if the police come and say like, you're not supposed to be doing short-term rentals, you're not supposed to be doing Airbnb, I'm gonna have to shut it down and sell the property, which would really suck. I mean, especially at this time, I'm broke out of my mind. Like, it would really suck. I really hope that's not what I have to do, and I'm gonna try as much as possible to not freak out about it and be emotional over it. I went there, I had a conversation with the mom, the family. They were being really loud. I mean, first of all, they had every single light in the house the kids were just so loud. I could hear them from out in the street. They were playing the TV really loudly. And I went to the door and I was like, super nice, like, hey, I'm the owner and we've been getting reports from you guys making too much noise and bothering the neighbors, and like, this is too loud right now and I want you guys to have fun, but you gotta tone it down. Get your kids to tone it down. And so she was like, yeah, we'll do that, but I don't know if she will. They seem like a little bit of like kind of the rough around the edges type. I hope it works. Finally. Good morning, everybody. What's up? So I'm actually on my way to the pharmacy. I've been sick like the past couple of weeks or even months. Like this whole holiday season I've been sick. And I think, like all like the different types of being sick, I mean, it all just plays into each other. It's like domino effect. Like once you get sick with one thing, then it plays into the next thing and the next thing. And if you're stressed out about something, it like totally blows it up. So I have barely slept last night and it was crazy. But I finally I fired my 4th cleaner. I hired 2 cleaning companies, 2 individual cleaners, and each of them, for different reasons, I fired them, and I'm really happy about my decision. The first time, they might have a legitimate excuse. Like, they don't know where the place is, they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, they don't have your number yet, whatever. Like, they do have your number, but like, they don't, I don't know. There's excuses for the first time. Second time, absolutely, like, not acceptable. Because if I'm working for other people still, like you saw that I'm going back and doing work for other people. If I can show up to my job that I'm doing for other people and not make a fuss about it and not be a no-show, then other people need to do that for me. There's a reason why this person is a cleaner that I find on TaskRabbit, because she didn't make the kind of decisions early on that would make her more successful. So that's why she's stuck in this position. And there's a reason why in order to like clear up my debt, I'm having to go back to doing, like restaurant stuff or whatever, because the decisions I made in the beginning made it so that like, while I might have some assets, but I don't have a way of protecting being secure because I didn't like save or, make a plan for this. At the very least, show up. And if you're not going to show up, then you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve to be part of the economy if you're not going to show up. You don't deserve to make money, obviously, because you're causing someone else to lose their entire business, which is dependent on you. So just, you know what? Yeah, onward and forward. I don't know what the word is. Actually, I'm supposed to be going through a drive-through, so I don't know why I'm parking. On to the next one, the next cleaner. And, eventually, I know I will find a cleaner that is reliable enough that when they say, I'm showing up today, they will show up. Because I have tenants that are going to be showing up later, and they need the beds to be made because they're not going to, like, sleep on someone's old mess. When someone that works for you just, like, bails, it's really tempting to be like, well, I'm out of this business. The person that I have to rely on in order to make this business work is bailing on me. I can't rely on them, so I can't rely on this business. It's really tempting to do that, but you really shouldn't. I mean, I'm telling myself, like, I really shouldn't do that because there is enough businesses out there like mine to, and numbers are enough to show that it is reliable. You just have to find the right people, and it's gonna take time. This making money is not for the faint-hearted. So
if this is what it takes, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be like, you know, the scared girl I was in the past. I'm gonna take the bull by the horns, and if shit happens, and I am not gonna cry. Maybe I will cry just to let it out, but I'm not gonna give up. I can't give up. There's no possible way, because if I give up, I'm gonna end up right back where I was. But I am definitely a proponent of like letting go of the people that are not working for you, because what's the point? They're just gonna drag you back, and they're gonna make you feel like hopeless in the business model. So the biggest FML thing just happened right now. I got a notice from the city that they're about to place a lien on my property because I am renting it on Airbnb. It's all my fault. Like, it's all stuff that was my fault. I didn't read the city ordinances when I bought the property, and I didn't read it carefully enough, and this was not allowed. And so the only option that I have is to cancel the property on Airbnb, Vrbo, all these sites, and hope that they don't, like, you know, put a blockage on my account, and try to put it up for rent instead. It's really sad, and unfortunately, you know, people be crazy and cause you to lose your whole business, you know. But lucky for me, I am not going to rely on one business, you know, model. So I have so many other things in the works that I'm thinking about, and I'm constantly thinking about how to improve this one. And, you know, also I should have been more careful with what I choose, where I choose to invest my money, and you should not choose to invest. You know, I should have seen it coming. There were other zoning laws, and any town that has a lot of zoning laws is probably not going to allow Airbnb, and they're probably also going to be cheaper. Like, so just because a town is cheap to invest in doesn't make it good, because, you know, if there's a lot of older people that are kind of NIMBY and like not really with the new ways of making money, and they're not going to want to do that themselves, like they're not going to do Airbnb themselves. That's why there were no Airbnbs in that area. So anyway, so gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm not gonna cry over it. It's just another learning lesson, and yeah, putting up the house for rent. That's what I'm gonna do. And unfortunately, the value isn't enough for me to like sell it and make a great profit or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep it for now. I was talking to the city hall today, and I was telling them, like, guys, thank you so much for everything you've done, and like, I'm so sorry that my home has violated code, and like, I really didn't want to do that. I didn't realize when I bought the house that it was not, you know, Airbnb was not allowed, but like, you know, I'm definitely gonna comply with your order, and I'm gonna get it off by the deadline you said. Gonna replace it with a new long-term tenant, gonna vet the tenant, make sure they're good. And they were like, well, now that you mention it, if you want to rent out your house at all with any long-term tenant, you need to apply through the city, and you need to pay an application fee, and you need to wait until it's approved. And then we need to send out a city inspector to come and inspect your home to make sure it's up to code, which my home is not because it's very old. And then you can rent out your home. And you have to do this every time you get a new tenant. Like, every time a new person comes in, I need to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do, because it's like there are so many things in my home that are not up to code, not because they're like not even safe, but just because they're just, you know, building codes change every year. It's like, in order to keep up with the new code, you'd have to spend a lot of money. And I guess that's why it's such a cheap area. Like, I guess that's why I was even able to afford it in the beginning, because it's kind of like,
who's gonna invest there? People, you know, who that in their right mind, you know, like me, I'm kind of silly and young and, you know, didn't really know what I was doing, and I still am learning, but this is really expensive stuff, and it's people's homes, and like, you know, if people want to burn down their homes, you can burn down their homes. Like, I will do what I need to do to protect my home and my tenants, but like, now there's this whole other level of bureaucracy that, anyway, whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I left the frum community in order to be independent, in order to be my own boss, in order to like not be in control of anybody else. So no matter what happens, I'm not going to give up my control. I will die trying and fighting for my independence. So here we are, next battle.